Hey, listen, I recently decided it's time to start putting myself out there again, testing myself in the arena of competitive shooting. Now, it's been a long time. I shot exactly one IDPA match in my life, and a lot of my friends shoot IDPA. A lot of my friends were shooting IDPA at that time in other states and cities, and they were loving it. I just didn't have any good luck finding a good club. So I ended up shooting USPSA and Steel Challenge type matches and loving it. And I had so much fun with it. It's very addictive. But unfortunately, the last time I competed was 2015 or 16. It's been quite some time. A couple weeks ago, I renewed my USPSA membership, and I'm gonna start shooting USPSA again, production. I'll be shooting production and maybe carry optics. I'm kind of looking at what the rules are for that. Also, I'm kind of just digging the challenge of shooting iron sights again after not shooting irons for several years now. It's been kind of cool and I'm having some fun. I'm going to be running in the stock service pistol division of IDPA, SSP, and I'm going to be shooting production in USPSA. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I thought today I would show you guys what I am going to be using for gear to compete in these divisions right now. Now, I know before I show you guys, here's the first thing. Let's start with just the basics. This is the belt, and it is probably my favorite belt. It's a Cobra buckle system. The belt just feeds in here. It's pretty simple. If you guys are familiar with this kind of stuff, then you know exactly how this works. Feeds in, Velcro's down there. It's reinforced, it's nice and tight all through here. There's some good reinforcement, but it's also not so rigid that it's uncomfortable, that it kind of digs into you and gets some hot spots going. Gonna be using this. This will be my belt. Mounted on that belt will be a Phantom holster from Raven Concealment. This is a straight up and down orientation, so there's no cant to this. It's not tilted forward or backward. I'm going to be using this mounted at the hip per the rules of whatever division I'm shooting in, whether it's production or SSP, IDPA. And then for mag carriers, I'm going to be using these from Raven Concealment. And these are, I'm forgetting the name, I'll put it in the caption, but they have the option of being adjustable. So you can adjust these so that they have some cant. So you can make it so that it tilts forward or backward, however you want to wear it. These are going to be on the belt as well. We'll be using 2 standard Glock 17 mags. So you already know what pistol I'm going to be shooting. I'm going to be shooting a Glock 17. This iron sight, it's Glock 17. It's a Gen 4. It's got some miles on it, but it is the only Glock I have that is basically stock. There is nothing done to this thing, nothing done to the frame. The frame is the same as it came from the factory, which the rest of my Glocks, the frames have been worked on by Ben at Boresight Solutions. And so I don't really have anything that is legal for production or SSP. Here we are. I will be shooting a Glock 17 Gen 4 with HD sights, so Trijicon HDs. Probably gonna leave that as it is, not gonna mess around with it too much. And there's nothing else done to this thing. It is stock recoil, guide rod, stock trigger. You can hear that it's got a little weight on it. It's probably 5 pounds. It's got some creep. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but yeah, it's got some creep, it's got some stack. It's a Glock, man. What are you gonna do? And the standard magazines, if I'm reading it correctly, you can load 15 rounds. I might be wrong on that, and if you guys know, please pipe up and let me know, or refer me to the rule book where I can read it for myself. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm looking to have some fun. I'm looking to learn. This is gonna be an awesome experience. I'm gonna be competing with basically how I would carry every day in my normal life, my everyday life, especially fall, what they call the shoulder seasons, spring and fall, and even the winter time. I will sometimes carry on the hip in a Phantom and carry my mags on the outside and under some sort of flannel or something like that. I'm gonna have to go, speaking of cover, I'm gonna have to find some sort of vest somewhere. That's gonna be interesting. Never shot with one of those before. Gonna be some training curves here. It's gonna be really cool to be a student. I'm really looking forward to it. And that's about it. I thought about shooting appendix. I know for those of you that have trained with me and know my preference, I thought about shooting appendix. I have a number of appendix rigs. That was the other thing too in choosing the Glock, was that I had IDPA legal gear for the Glock, whereas for other pistols I don't. So I don't have a whole lot of IDPA legal stuff. It would be legal for production or limited for USPSA, even carry optics in USPSA, but I don't think it's legal in IDPA. And as a new guy shooting their first match in a long time, I said since 2016, and also my first IDPA match in 20 years. You have to remember, my first IDPA match was pre 9/11. We're talking 99, 98. I was a brand new cop and I took my duty belt, duty gun, all that stuff, and I shot that. And they allowed me to shoot my duty gear open as I would carry it at work. So they allowed me to shoot my duty gear, which was cool, but the rest of the experience was pretty not cool. Anyway, I have, to my knowledge, what I have is IDPA legal. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to show up at my first match with people that don't know me from Adam. They don't know if I'm safe. They don't know if I have training. They don't know what my gun handling looks like. And I start shooting from appendix in the waistband. And I just don't want to get on the radar right from the bat. I don't want to be that guy. Just look, let me shoot some matches. You can see I'm not unsafe. You can see I'm not a weirdo. You can see I'm not gonna do silly things. And then maybe bring up the subject of, I'd like to shoot from appendix because that's how I carry and I'd like to test that. Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what your experiences are. If you have shot appendix in IDPA, I'd really like to hear about it, hear what your experiences are and what you used for a rig, as well as USPSA. I have two friends who frequently compete at the GM level, Grandmaster level, in USPSA with appendix carry. One is on the West Coast, one is on the East Coast. That might change things a little bit as far as the vibe of the clubs and that kind of thing. I don't know. But I do know that they compete with how they carry, with what they carry every day. And they feel like it's a valid and important way to test. However, both of them gave me the same advice, which was just show up with a rig that's like everybody else's, compete, let them get to know you, then go ahead if you want, compete in appendix, but just be cool for now. USPSA might be a little different, but that's okay. Again, I'm new to these guys. I'm a beginner, and I truly am a beginner. I'm not saying that I'm not, but what I mean is I'm in their eyes, I'm like, they don't know that whether I've ever handled a pistol or not, whether I've ever had training or not, whether I'm safe or not. Do I want to do anything that gets me on the radar right away? What's with this guy? He's just going to come in here and act like he owns the place. Whatever. Maybe I'm paranoid, but I just want to be cool. I want to be careful, and I want to be respectful. And most of all, I just want to get shooting competition again so that I can start collecting that data and start that learning process. All right, guys, let me know what you think, man. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.